Hello, hello. Let's double check to make sure everything's working properly. All right, all right. New layout, new positions. Let's hope that I still sound okay. Listen to the sultry sound of my voice. I just burned my tongue while eating dinner voice. All right. Today, we have Crusading Angels versus RGM NA. This should be a fantastic little bout that we have here. Crusading Angels making a large amount of progress and really taking strides into improving as a team. I suspect they're going to climb us relatively far this season. RGM doing the same. Two teams I would put roughly around the same current rank. It's going to be very interesting to see the plays, the techniques, the performance of both teams. Currently, we're waiting for the lobby to begin. First map is going to be Snow Peak. Snow Peak, known for being a very large map, which gives you lots of time to react. However, despite being a large map, still considered what I would say a partial long range, a partial CQC map. If anything, you could call it a medium range map due to the fact that you get options. You can play the long range over by the ice lake, and you can play the short range going through the building and the tunnels. Getting started in a little bit here. All right. We're still waiting for every player to come trickling in. Hope everybody's doing well. We're going to be getting started in a second here. First map, Snow Peak. Snow Peak, a long range and short range map all at the same time. Long range in the sense that you have to clear a large amount of distance, but short range in the sense that there are a lot of CQB areas built into the map, which is making it fantastic. As far as the large maps go and onward, it's definitely one of the more varied. All right. Do some cleaning up here. All right, we are waiting on one more player before we start up. All right. Aha, okay. That helps me. Okay. Today we have Crusading Angels versus Raging Moth. Going to be a good one. Both teams currently in a similar bracket, fighting for knowledge, practice, and to truly ensure that they can sharpen their skills on each other. Going to be a fantastic one tonight. I'm expecting heavy opposition for both teams, meaning it's going to be tight to the end. I'm hoping for as few, let's call them avoidable mistakes tonight. For example, not being on objective when a player is pushing it and getting the objective captured on you. For those of you unfamiliar with Onward, Onward is essentially the CSGO of VR. The goal is to capture an objective. The objective is placed randomly throughout the map and takes the shape of a satellite dish of some kind. In order to capture the objective, you have to get within a spitting distance of the objective and input a 7-digit code. The 7-digit code is randomized at the start of each round. Marsoc, the team in tan, their goal is to push the objective and enter the code. Volk is the team in black. Their job is to defend the objective and ensure Marsoc cannot do so. The round ends when everybody on one team dies or when the timer runs out. If the timer runs out, Marsoc loses the round by default. If Marsoc can push and capture the objective, that is 2 rounds of points given to the Marsoc team. So Marsoc has high risk, high reward in the sense that it is much more difficult for Marsoc. They have more lose conditions than win, but if they can get the win condition, then they end up taking 2 entire rounds off of it. So as a general rule in this game, the goal is never, ever, ever get capped on. If somebody goes close to the objective, you die before you can get captured on, because if they capture the objective before you die, that is 2 points to the other team. It is first to 4. Best of 3 maps, so we'll be playing 3 separate maps tonight, the first of which is Snow Peak, a snow-capped mountain area with a mountainous cave system built into it. The main goal on Snow Peak is to take control of sight lines. There are a lot of long-range sight lines on Snow Peak, and if you can control them, you have a great position. Inside of the mountain, you have what turns into a full kill house. It is CQB onto CQB. The main goal there is maximizing utility and playing as much for audio cues as possible. Speaking of audio cues, this game does not have a built-in team chat, let's call it. Unlike the games that you're used to, Call of Duty, where you can just shout at your teammates and give them orders, Onward is an open chat game, which means it is proximity chat. If somebody is near you, they hear you. Your teammates, in a similar boat, your teammates cannot hear you until you radio in, so please be ensured that you need to tap a radio button on your shoulder, both locking up a hand and also alerting any enemies of your position if they're close enough to hear your proximity chat. The game is very sound-based. Pay very close attention to sound cues, as they are very important on Snow Peak. Snow Peak has a lot of snow in the area, and footsteps make sounds based on what you're standing on. Wooded sounds sound like wood, grassy sounds like grass, and snow sounds like soft snow crunching, which is very, very quiet. As we wait for the 5th player to come in, I hope everyone's doing fantastic tonight. Let's go, RGM. Agreed. Thank you, Fire. No problem, How to Breathe. I'm happy to cast for you guys. It is going to be a fantastic night, and I can't wait to see what you guys can do. As we wait for things to trickle in, we're just hoping for one more player. Well, looks like there's a bit of a roster issue. 1 second. All right, it appears our 5th has had a bit of a scheduling conflict, so we are going to be waiting for a replacement to come in and swap out for the 5th. Just means a little more time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a quick look at the map, shall we? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are playing on the hangar objective of Snow Peak. For those of you unfamiliar, this is Snow Peak. This map is long range, this map is spacious and beautiful, and this map is deadly. Watch for blood on the snow, as this is going to be where it happens. This whole ice lake makes a very specific sound cue. Anybody on it alerts pretty much everybody on the ice lake to the fact that they are there. It is a very, very wide audio cue. Inside of this hangar, we have our objective. Inside, we hold this satellite dish. That satellite dish, getting within spitting distance of the satellite dish, will allow Marsoc to capture the objective and take 2 rounds off of the opposing team. The actual area that you can capture the objective is from about here. It is a lot closer than it seems, but that can be deceptive, as sometimes there will be somebody right next to the objective and you can't tell just because of sight lines. This game is very sightline dependent, much like CSGO. The main goal is to get that sight line and get that pick. It is a very short time to kill as well. 1 or 2 shots is all it takes to take a player down. That makes this game very, very volatile. 1 player can take out 5 in the blink of an eye and vice versa. So having a 1 to 5 lead isn't always the best thing in the world if that 1 player is just in the perfect spot to punish your entire team. This objective has many sight lines. The main goal is to take control of this North Valley here through the mountain pass and take control of the main, let's call it, crevice on the way to objective, and this guard tower and these Hescos here. The other option for the other team would be to push across the back lines through the ice, giving off sound cues and potentially risking the entire team knowing they're there. Controlling this objective requires a lot of long-range skill. You have to cover a lot of open sight picture. Ladies and gentlemen, Snow Peak is a map of range. Across the hill from the ice and snow, you'll see a lot of long open sight pictures that you have to watch for crossings on. This gives players an opportunity to hold all kinds of interesting angles, and there are no correct ways to hold things. The world is your oyster, depending on how you want to push this. Many different positions to watch out for. Even positions inside the interior of the building, you have tons of long open sight picture with let's call it leapfrog cover, where you have to get from cover to cover in order to cover ground. And a lot of long hallways that suddenly turn into very CQB heavy zones. Notice a lot of kill corridors and sections where you can easily get picked off if you're not careful. Very interesting map. Very, I like it. It's a very well-designed map, in my opinion. Lots of interesting gameplay and positions to be playing. Oh, it appears we are indeed starting soon, which means we have a full lineup. We sure do. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the lag spike there. We are ready. Information and callouts, last minute decisions to be made. RGM currently taking defense Volk on this objective on the hangars. Let's see where they push out to. Speaking of which, it appears that Crusading Angels have gotten the spawn clear across the ice lake. A good spawn if you enjoy making that push, but a rough spawn if you want to be fast and aggressive, because you're going to have to play for a lot of picks. That thick makes it up to Hesco's. Two players holding that back line. You've got Reverse and Bravo holding that back line. Tripodix holding inside of the container, and the Goat now rotating back upon information, potentially pushed out and realized they did not get the quicker of the spawns. That's going to be first shots from Crusading Angels. Poison Pastry takes down the Goat. Switched over just in the nick of time to see that one happen. This map is going to be all picks on this objective. Whoever can pick off the most players from the other team so they can cross safely. Solar Man holding that long angle. Looks like he's taking shots. Shots fired back from bunker, that thick, gonna be holding that angle. Goat holding a similar position, might be able to peek out on Solar Man, but Solar Man using this cover very well. Solar Man, a very interestingly familiar voice. USMC holding from Hesco's. Hovenator doing the same.
Where that guy's shooting from? I can't see him.
They are best buddies. They are the battle buddies. Tripodix picks off Solar Man. Looks like Solar Man was not using the cover quite enough in those snowy hills. That's going to be a rotate back from Hovenator and USMC. They're going to be rotating around behind, trying to take that inner line. Definitely a good play, but one they should have made a lot sooner than they have now, deciding instead to opt for 5-man, getting picks first. Not entirely against it, as it did get him a knock, but it's not entirely paid off for him. Tripodix holding the line towards that back area to ensure that nobody can make that final finish line cross. I like that, but he does not see the actual cover down below. We'll see how that pans out for him. The Goat holding a position on Hesco's, specifically checking to see if his foot is still there. Yes, he knows his foot exists. Giving out good callouts, though. It's going to be quiet for a little bit until suddenly it's not. That is what I mean about this game specifically. It has such a low time to kill that it is calm and quiet until suddenly it simply isn't anymore. That thick holding Hesco's waiting at the bunker. I want to see where he's holding. He is holding across the ice lake using the Hesco's as cover. I love that. He can play audio cues from behind him and, more importantly, get the picks on the ice lake. That is the way to go. A very strong defensive position set up from RGM. Let's see how Crusading Angels attempts to pick it apart, if they can. How to Breathe, Hovenator, both in position, going to be on that thick soon. Situations are about to unfold. Crusading Angels, 4 players up. Poison Pastry holding that long line as well. Their fifth, also across the Ice Lake, now making his push. Howdo, That Thick, Hobinator. We're about to see action. Let's see what happens. That's a line from the far side. Pre-fire into the pillbox. Howdo, Hobinator. Pushing up. Great job holding each other's crosses on the lines. Note that they're not getting close enough to each other to get killed. One grenade does not clear them both, and that is the way you want to play it. Danger close positions. That Thick. Getting ready to react. Ducking back down, though. He hears audio on the ice. He knows that's a problem. Howdo, Hobinator. Good battle, buddies. That Thick. In position. That's going to be the flash or the grenade. That's the flash. Gets Howdo. Doesn't get Hobinator. Howdo lays down, but he doesn't get picked. It doesn't save him. Hobinator inside now. That Thick. Retaliation frag, but it lands on the roof. Hobinator survives the frag. That Thick still in a very strong position. Hobinator knows he's there, but he can't really do anything about him. And That Thick knows it. He's going to go back to holding the position he was holding before. Hobinator has to come to him. Full control of the situation. Currently, Poison Pastry making his way across the Ice Lake. Sorry, making their way across the Ice Lake. And the straggler, USMC, rotating up finally. Not sure what he's doing back there. He's had this angle for a while, trying to get a pick on That Thick. If he was holding this sooner, he might have been able to get some punishment on That Thick. Otherwise, those are the call-outs we want to hear. Calling out one on bunker and potentially one on sniper tower. There is none on sniper tower, but still good awareness, good game sense for situations. USMC holding. Hobinator tries to pre-fire swing to see if he can catch him. Does not. There's nobody pushing on Tripodix. And Bravo holding positions. USMC picks off Traverse. That Thick picks off Poison Pastry as they try to cross the Ice Lake. Hobinator swings out. Gets punished by Bravo. Crusading Angels down to 1. USMC, the straggler, taking his good sweet time to get into any kind of position. And now he's just made it to where his team is all passed out. That Thick, USMC. Here comes the engagement. That USMC. And time has run out. Didn't end up mattering whatsoever. Crusading Angels taking far too long to make a play. Specifically USMC straggling behind the rest of the team. Overall, though, I saw great mechanics, great decision making. But the defense from Raging Moth simply too strong to prevent. Here are your scores, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody standing out in particular. Everybody doing a good job, carrying their weight and doing their part. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get reset, shall we? As I've said before, the main goal of offense on this objective is to try and cross up to the northern mountains, take control of the North Pass or this north section. Once you do that, you have the ability to start making crosses. Your alternate option would be back behind the Ice Lake here, the Ice Lake being the riskier of the plays as there's less cover, but it is a lot less, I want to say, heavily watched upon. RGM doing a great job having multiple lines towards it, but a lot of the times, in order to avoid getting picked off, players won't really peek across the Ice Lake unless they have one or two dedicated players doing so. Crusading Angels nearly got across Ice Lake, but couldn't break down enough of RGM's defenses to attempt the cross safely. Once they had picked off That Thick, they might have had an opportunity to cross, but until then, they were dead in the water. USMC playing far too back for Crusading Angels to do anything of value for the team. Definitely needs to work on that, move up a little bit faster, a little bit harder, keep up with the team. You have a limited number of time in between each round. All right. Let's see which spawn. It looks like that is the quick spawn for Raging Moth in the north. Immediate lines. Traverse, Tripodix pushing up through the north. That Thick. Bravo, Goat pushing up right next door. Here comes the aggression. Things are about to get saucy really fast. Hobinator gets a pick on that thick. Hobinator holding a beautiful line that's going to be really effective soon. Make sure to finish the kill. That's the -1. He's going to be holding this strong line against Bravo and Goat. Bravo and Goat are going to have a hard time getting across. Bravo is going to get hit, but manages to heal it off. Traverse, Tripodix coming in to support Team Hobinator. Already in position for that beautiful little pick line here. Hobinator has spooked off both Traverse and Tripodix. It looks like RGM doesn't know what to do from here. Hobinator, one-man army, has stopped the entirety of RGM's push. He's being very careful not to overexpose his body on these peaks. Shots being fired from the backside. Here comes the extend out. Hobinator just trying to play for picks. All 4 of RGM now gathered back up into the mountain pass to decide of a new position. Poison Pastry in position. Looks like somebody's playing that back line. Solar Man playing that back line. Trying to go for picks. The entirety of Crusading Angels is now watching that north overpass. If Raging Moth had picked up on that and immediately started rotating towards Horseshoe in the back areas and rotated towards the center, they might have been able to make a play that can at least divide the attention of Crusading Angels. Simply dividing it. Even if it's one player simply shooting out at nothing back there, it's enough to split their attention 2 ways so that RGM can at least try some kind of push. Hobinator crashing back to objective. He's gotten his pick. He's happy with it. He doesn't feel the need to stay there. His position is burnt, and he knows it. Raging Moth now rotating back towards Horseshoe section, Horseshoe being the center of the map. Traverse now coming out of Horseshoe now. This is the play I was talking about, but this is going to be a little too late on the timer to be able to make too much happen from it, especially if they've fully given up on the north side. Having at least 1 player to play the north and 3 pushing across might have been the play here. It gives them a good opportunity to split that attention. Remember, your attention is limited in this game, so splitting it whenever possible will be helpful. Tripodix manages to get hit off of this back line. Who is this player? USMC holding this back line and getting a couple of hits off from way downtown. Howdo, Hobinator, and Solar Man all playing this back line to cover the long cross. They know that RGM has rotated across at this point. Nobody's still pushing the north side, and Crusading Angels has figured that out, which means they're going to be playing accordingly. They're playing this round, honestly, perfectly. 2 minutes and 50 seconds on the clock. A good player, it takes less than 2 seconds to capture the objective. So all Raging Moth needs is 2 seconds to get there. And they still have a shot, but this is going to get close, and it's going to get close fast. Raging Moth needs to get a pick or 2 in order to break down the defenses a little to try and make a push. These long angles. Real Goat pushing up to the Heskos on Pillbox. That's going to be an interesting pick here. Solar Man not holding the peak all the time. Shifting once in a while. Attempted pick. Goat gets hit. Does not go down. Potentially calls out the -1 here, but that is not a -1. Goat still up. That is not a -1, and he knows it now. Holding that line.
We lost one. Scratch that, never mind, we're still 54.
All right, scared me a little bit there. Thought we had a phantom player disappear. Howdo gets Real Goat. Holding the same line now that he knows that he's on Pillbox. Finishes it off. Raging Moth, 3-5. Crusading Angels currently up 2 players. 1 minute 25 on the clock, and Bravo and Tripodix have not moved from their starting position. Worried about getting picked, but they need to worry about making some kind of aggression.
We can't just stay here the whole time. They have this whole.
We're stuck! Where are we gonna go?
This is playing out like a Spanish drama. ¿Por qué? Porque no necesita. Oh, Traverse takes out How to Breathe. Finally, the first kill of the round for Raging Moth. Too little, too late. 4 players up on Crusading Angels. Raging Moth needs to make some aggressive push and get some picks or rotate in. Traverse in position, made it across ice like he has to worry about the entire team by himself. He needs his teammates to make some noise, and he needs to make it now. That is a footstep in the snow. Solar Man potentially hears it. He sees Solar Man, the tip of his head. That's going to be a smoke out distraction. Pre-fire comes from Solar Man, doesn't kill him. Traverse takes a hit. Traverse swings in, gets the Hobinator trade. Got the trade, calls it out. Solar Man gets picked off on the pushback in. 8 seconds left on the clock. USMC holding on the objective. Poison Pastry and USMC still up for Crusading Angels, which means that is going to be it because RGM is not in position to be able to do anything about it. Traverse making a great push in, really breaking up the entire back line of Crusading Angels. Raging Moth could have taken advantage of that had they been able to do it sooner. Raging Moth taking far too long to make any kind of a substantial play, and it cost them the round. Unfortunate to see. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your current scores. Snow Peak was the map I actually got when I first played the game. Nice! Snow Peak is a fantastic all-around map. Snow Peak does require some learning, though. A lot of the maps with interior sections that aren't clearly defined on the map tend to take a little bit more time to learn the interiors of. Specifically, Snow Peak, Subway, anything with an underground section tends to be a little annoying. That being said, they're usually the best maps. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's find our next objective. Okie doke. It is going to be this little shack over here. Objective stands right next to the shack. You can capture the objective from inside of the shack, making this a very dangerous objective for the defenders. This might be what I consider the most offensive-heavy objective on the map, in the sense that offense gets the biggest advantage specifically on this objective. Going to be interesting to see how the players set their defenses up, how they decide to push this. We're going to get into it now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, RGM on defense. It appears Crusading Angels got the farthest possible spawn the game can give you on this objective. There are multiple spawns for each objective for the offense, and this is by far the worst one. There are 4 potential spawns on this, and this is the one that is farthest away from the objective, going to be a hindrance. Traverse pushes up to Horseshoe, tries to get it to the entrance, see if he can get some picks, doesn't hear any footsteps, and has probably called out to his team that they didn't get this spawn, which is a good call. Lots of information to be gained. Bravo, Triptychs holding on the Hesco's Battle Buddies. And Goat holding this back mountain over here. Other side of the mountain, other side of the mountain. Yes, holding next to the sandbags here, holding a gnarly line on the cross here. Not only does he have a beautiful line here, but he can play audio and know when to peek up when he hears them pushing. That is a lovely spot. You love to see it. And another player hard pushed out, that thick. Way up inside. Paying very, very, very close attention to his tablet to make sure he can crash in time. A good decision. All right, boys and girls. We're about to get into it. Hobinator, USMC about to be pushing up onto Horseshoe soon. Traverse going to be in position. That shot's fired in the back. That's going to be on Triptychs holding that long? No. OG. OG gets smoked out. Traverse takes out Hobinator and Poison Pastry. Gets downed in the process. He's going to call out the double kill there at Horseshoe. Real Goat backing off to a different position. USMC is going to pick off Triptychs. Real Goat holding that line on Solar Man and How to Breathe. He's going to rotate back to the other side of the mountain, try and hold a better position, or at least a position that can have a better cross. Solar Man's already there. He's going to see Goat. Goat crosses out in the open. Solar Man punishes him for it. Solar Man now in position to punish. USMC is going to grenade traverse up at Horseshoe. Horseshoe down. Raging Moth now 2 to 3. All of the sudden, Solar Man now pushing in. Bravo, that thick, holding new lines. That thick gets picked off by Solar Man, which means Bravo is the last man up. That's going to be the double smoke. Both next to each other, unfortunately, meaning that isn't going to be a very effective second smoke. RGM is going to pick off Solar Man. Bravo now picking off the player that had the potential for the cap. Crusading Angels has one player on Horseshoe and one behind. How to Breathe is going to be holding a gnarly angle. That's going to pick Bravo in the back of the head if he's not careful. Shots fired. Bravo knows he's there. USMC is going to punch him anyway. And that is going to be Crusading Angels 2 to 1. Almost a capture, but played very well on the crash from RGM and even more well on the split from Crusading Angels. Ladies and gentlemen, you see just how important it is to take an objective from multiple positions. If you can pinch from multiple positions, one player was only one set of eyes. They do not have eyes on the back of their head. So they have to watch several positions all at the same time, which is simply not possible. Let's go, RGM, move it, Bravo. I know, definitely need to stop wasting so much time in the back lines. RGM really taking it slow, and it's been hurting them. It seems like they have a plan in mind, and when they execute the plan goes beautifully. But when the plan falters at any point, there's no backup plan. There's no, we need to do this instead. It's, oh no, our plan failed, and we're stuck now. That can't be the mentality if you want to progress. The main goal should be, okay, this plan didn't work. What's a plan that punishes this plan not working? Overall, though, a close game and very nice showing from both teams. RGM just needs to pick it up and push in a little bit more aggressively. Okie doke. Let's get back over. And here we go, round 4, fight. Let's listen in. Oh, the game thinks I'm in the wall. Interesting. That's rude. All right, let's see. Crusading Angels gets the faster of the spawns. Oh, no, I'm an idiot. There we go. Crusading Angels gets the spawn through tunnels, which means they got the north side of the map. It is the second farthest spawn. They can rush through these tunnels here and get to a position towards that south side. It appears there's a player already on that south side. Let's take a look from his angle. Yeah, it's going to be Pastry. Yeah. Pastry holding a nice little peek here from this corner to see if he can catch anybody. Excuse me. Catch anybody making that cross. Sorry, I had some water giving me the hiccups. Poison Pastry doesn't see anybody yet. Doesn't know the timing for the slower of the two spawns, because it is true. There's a faster spawn that gets there much sooner. Poison Pastry switching gears instead. No foot through the bottom, perfect. Switching gears instead to cover as they pass as opposed to when they get into position. Good decision this late into the round. Bravo, Traverse, Tripodix, and That Thick all making their way through the tunnel system. It looks like RGM is going 5 strong through the tunnels, and a couple are going to split off towards Horseshoe and see if they can't get picks. They're going to run into opposition at the Heskos from Solarman. How to Breathe and Hobinator both in positions to cover that back line because they have not confirmed what spawn it is yet. There is a chance that the other team is simply playing a slower version of the spawn. Solarman and USMC holding a similar line, watching that far cross. USMC, I like holding that line from inside there. Probably has a very narrow angle of attack, but that angle of attack could get a pick. All right, Solarman taking shots over at Horseshoe. Horseshoe has been called out to the rest of Crusading Angels. Crusading Angels going to have to react accordingly. Tripodix, Bravo, holding that line, hoping to get a pick before they make a rotation up, but they could be hoping for quite a while. 3 minutes, 47 seconds left on the clock. Poison Pastry holding that back line, waiting for players to push up to him, but Traverse, Goat, and Thick all playing it slow. In fact, a crawl. No footsteps allowed on this. I'm not against it with 3 minutes 30 on the clock if they can try and catch somebody by surprise that's holding in here, but this is a very slow crawl, and they're not checking corners as they crawl. As if you're going to play this slow play style to make no noise, you need to check every corner as you push it. Your head needs to be on a swivel so you can pick a player that doesn't expect you there, so they can be picked off in the back of the head because they're not looking the correct direction. Poison Pastry in a strong position to punish, but if he's not careful, yes, there is an angle that sees them. Solar Man takes out Bravo on the back line. That's going to be the first pick, but... Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's the other way around. Bravo picks off Solar Man at Hesco's. That's going to break down Hesco's for Crusading Angels. Raging Moth in a great position now at Horseshoe because Hesco's is down to be able to get some pushing power in. The rest of Raging Moth finally makes it out into the snow. The Goat, nice and loud. Poison Pastry in position. Goat holding in there. Poison Pastry knows he's there. Gonna wait till there's enough targets. Let them pass. Or take the shot. It looks like Poison Pastry gets picked off by Traverse. Exact angle that I was worried about. Traverse sees Poison Pastry in the back. Takes the shot. You gotta hold really, really low and lay down if you're gonna hold that. That's gonna be shots from Hovenator taking out the real Goat. Hovenator holding that back line. Smokes on objective for RGM. 1 minute, 53 seconds on the clock. Bravo and Tripodike holding in position, pushing in. USMC holding inside. They know he's there. That's going to be more and more util coming their way. Bravo swings out on USMC, pre-fires, doesn't get him. That Thick. And Traverse putting pressure. Hovenator picks off Traverse. USMC hits a hit on Bravo, but can't finish the kill. Everybody's down, everybody's down. Hovenator needs to crash now because that could be the cap. Tripodix picks off Hovenator. That should have and could have been the cap if they had rushed the objective. All that said, though, a beautiful split offense from RGM, eventually taking the round. That could have gone many ways. That Thick, really pushing in on the objective and putting the pressure, worked out fantastically for RGM. RGM making a critical error in the form of when they pushed into the objective, they, sorry, not RGM. Crusading Angels making a critical error. Poison Pastry having a small portion of their body exposed, causing them to go down. Had they not gone down and stayed hidden in that position, that could have been a 3-kill easy if they had let RGM push all the way through. Overall, great positions from Crusading Angels, but one initial pick on Hesco's, and RGM was able to punish heavily from that entire east side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we promised excitement and we got excitement. Who could ask for more? Oh, I'm in the wrong area. There we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this objective is colloquially called something, and I can never remember the name because I call it a different thing every time. You're welcome for the knowledge. The main goal is to take control of this objective here. There are plenty of positions you can capture it from, and most of the time, 10 times out of 10, there is smoke on it. Getting in this room is the hard part. There are 4 entrances in. You have the northern entrance that leads outside. You have the you have the northern entrance that leads outside, and the western entrance that leads out to the sandbags out front. Main goal is to take control of these 2 areas, smoke your way in, and try and take control of the objective if you're on offense. You also need to watch down this back hall here. This leads out into Horseshoe, and Horseshoe is a defendable position. Both of these split up and meet in the middle. One leads off and goes to the back section, while the other meets up at the back door. Essentially, if you can control the edge of Horseshoe and you can control these two doors, you control the objective. It is a very choke-pointed objective and definitely defender favorable. Going to be interesting to see how these teams react. So far, we've had traded rounds back and forth on defense. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. False alarm. Gotcha. It appears we almost started. Two players unready. We're just waiting on those guys. Nice breather. Time to consider things. If something is a dumpling, that makes it small. Is there a large dumpling? And is it just called a dumple? Food for thought. Oh, no, no, no. Fool me once. Shame on me. Fool me twice. I get excited again. Still shame on me. We should be starting up any moment now. Here we go. All right. They live. Talking about their favorite maps. They should be focusing in. Traverse. Hi. Okay, okay. Traverse is showing us something.
Hello world. Nah, that's legal. You can do that.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. This man is a Spider-Man. All right, Traverse. Up on top of the barrels here. No movement outside of his play zone. Therefore, that is a legal spot to stand, albeit hilarious. What an angle. Goat takes out How to Breathe out Horseshoe. And the hard push. Sorry, I was distracted by the amazing news that I had just seen. Beautiful position, holding that little peak here. Go. Gonna oh, that's a flash. I see. He's gonna flash out, but that's gonna land way too high to get anybody, if there were anybody there. Poison Pastry, Hobinator. The entirety of Crusading Angels has backed off of pushing that, and is now pushing the north side. As is a good decision here, RGM has left that uncontested out that back north there. Understandable on this objective. Holding tight on the objective is usually the play, as it's so hard to push into for Marsoc. Hobinator on drone? No. USMC on drone. He's going to be droning out the information that they need. Oh, oh, oh. I've lost the action. There we go. Wrong button. I pulled the lever, but it was the wrong lever, Yzma. Where did that drone go? There it is. There it goes. Bravo. Gonna hear drone. Drone goes in. It's a fly. Bravo's gonna shoot at it. Drone's gonna tell where at least 3 of RGM's players are. They're gonna have to rotate to new spots now. Traverse especially can no longer play up there. Solar Man pushes up onto the door here. That's going to be grenade out. Grenade catches nobody. Flash in from Solar Man. Solar Man doesn't push anything off it. Hobinator. Oh, no, sorry. Traverse is going to pick off Poison Pastry. Poison Pastry in response trades. Hobinator. Util in. Gets picked off by Real Goat at the edge. And Solar Man. That's going to be the double kill. Beautiful angle from Real Goat. That thick, Tripodix, Bravo, Goat, all holding anchor direct on objective. USMC, the last one alive. And he manages to pick off Goat as he swings out on him. Bravo in no position to be able to refrag or res. USMC holding that long line. Tripodix holding a similar angle to their downed player, except from way farther back. I like that. USMC trying to util in, at least get some information, glean some. USMC in a tough position. Let's get their point of view, what they play this out as. Swings straight in, no fear. Gets the pick on Bravo. Only down. Bravo calls it out.
No, I'm not.
Pulling as much bullets out of Tripodix as possible. That thick in position to try and swing.
No, I'm not.
Could get the res. Some banter here. That thick holding position. Tripodix gets picked on USMC. USMC making it in, which is amazing and impressive, but unable to really do anything proper out of it. That is a 1v4 at that point. Can't ask too much of them, but that could have switched at any moment. What a round. Another defense win. It looks like this is going to be a very close game. Each round going down to the defenders. Especially surprising because we've had one of the rounds on one of the more Marsoc heavy objectives. All right. USMC currently 7-2 for Crusading Angels. That is a sticking out that sticks out like a sore thumb. Bravo currently top fragging for RGM at 5-2. But if we're talking sheer kills, Traverse is at 6-5. Very good game so far. All right. Same objective. Going to be a little different. We'll see how the differences in playstyles matter here. I gotta find out. What is this angle that this sees? Okay, you get the door, but only the edge of the door, so you have to catch them quickly. A fast swing in still doesn't punish. What a cool spot, though. Never seen that before.
I was in a scrim against atrocities. They were talking about my leg.
Talking about past history. All right, Traverse. Let's see where RGM is. They got the southern spawn in tunnels, so expect some pushes towards Horseshoe. Speaking of, Solarman's going to push out towards Horseshoe. Nice C4. Howdu's going to hold his door. If Howdu goes down, that's going to be the C4 detonate. I love that. Very nice. USMC going to be holding a position on that front door. Poison Pastry pushes out into the north. Again, very good. The reason you want a player to push out this far is information. When players push up and they get the north quick spawn and they rush up here, they don't tend to clear all of the corners properly like they should. And Poison Pastry knows this and can push out and punish for it. That being said, it appears some of RGM is pushing up through the snake as we speak. That's going to be Poison Pastry in the back if they're not careful. Do they know the timing on how quickly each spawn gets to where? Because if they haven't been pushed yet, they need to be watching for that. Bravo picks off Poison Pastry. Bravo, Tripodix Traverse, now controlling of the north side. Goat and That Thick slowly pushing their way through. I'm going to hold on to this because this is where the action's about to be soon if RGM pushes quickly. If they take their time, though, and let Crusading Angels split their attention, then Goat and That Thick can start making plays. Danger close, danger close, danger close. One grenade and you're all dead. They need to be careful of how close they are together to each other. One spray of bullets, one grenade, and the whole team is down. Traverse takes down How to Breathe with a grenade. Beautiful. Util. Oh, speaking of How to Breathe, I forgot How to Breathe for a second there. Bravo, Traverse, Tripodix in position. Hobinator holding that back line on the inside. Speaking of which, Goat and That Thick are about to be in a position soon. That Thick pushing around. Goat pushing with. Bravo takes a hit in the process on that swing. Trying to pull attention. That Thick now pushing up to the west side door. West side, north side door. Currently getting pushed by Raging Moth. 5 players up against 4. Smokes are out. That's going to be the pre-fire from the rest of Crusading Angels. They have to pre-fire that smoke. It's not an option. That Thick. Goat holding the west side door now. That's Util in. Smokes up as well. Tripodix, Solarman, USMC all holding up. Goat inside. He gets a pick on Hobinator. Things are about to get real exciting real fast. Traverse takes out Goat. That thick pushes in, gets the res. And just like that, too much smoke on objective. RGM coming from too many angles. That was nothing short of textbook. Crusading Angels, a strong defensive setup, but unfortunately that much aggression, that much smoke, and that many angles simply ends it. Yet another situation where Poison Pastry is holding a strong angle in a sense, but isn't unable to do anything with it because of just, whoops. Sorry, everyone. Here are your scores. Unfortunately, Poison Pastry in a beautiful position to be able to retaliate, but unable to do anything with it just simply due to knowledge, not knowing that, okay, they haven't pushed the north side. They're probably going to be... That's all, folks. They're probably going to be pushing the east side, and knowing that would have been the difference maker, because then they could have at least put some opposition out or rotated. A very good showing from both teams, though. Overall, surprising the RGM taking a Marsoc round on one of the most Volk-heavy objectives. Coming out interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're playing Suburbia now. Oh, one sec.
I just punched.
Beautiful. We go on to map 2. Map 2, Suburbia. Suburbia is a short-range map with short-range positions. The main goal of this map is util control. If you know where to place your util on this map, it's all open sight picture above the map. You will see grenades flying. You will see flash grenades flying. You will see smokes in the air. Just the way we like it. This is 4th of July, the map. This objective has many positions you can capture it from. On this side of the objective of the tank, you can capture as well as on the opposite side. So it is going to be up to the defenders to cover both sides of the tank or ensure nobody can get near it in the first place. All right, as we move into the second map, things are going to get much more heated on this map, as we're going to see much more action much more frequently than we did on the last one. The last map being a long-range map, it takes a lot of time to make repositions, a lot of time to make pushes. This one is going to be much more forgiving on that end. Let's see how the teams play this out. Spawn for RGM is on the west side of the map. They have 2 spawns. The west side over here and... Come on. There we go. And the east side over here. They got the west side. All right. Poison Pastry pushing out into lane 4. Solar Man pushing out into lane 1. He's going to see early aggression. USMC taking control of center building. Bravo and Tripides pushing down lane 2. Drain straight into center building. Solar Man not going to peek on lane 1. Goat pushing up on Solar Man now. USMC and Tripitix currently underneath USMC. Goat pushing up on Solar Man. Solar Man here's accused. He's going to swing. Swinger be swung. Goat goes down. That's going to be the pick from Bravo onto USMC. Solar Man's going to heal off that engagement. Bravo and Tripitix take control of center building. Traverse takes out Solar Man with a beautifully placed nade. That is going to finish him off instantly. It is now currently a 4v3 RGM's favor. Never would have seen that coming and how quickly that developed. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see a lot of action very quickly on this map. That's going to be confirmed from Traverse. Traverse looting his friend's body, making sure he's got as much util as possible for this push. Poison Pastry holding that long eagle on the cross. Hard to breathe, and Hobinator holding from inside the building. Hobinator sees Traverse push up. Traverse going to have util pushed out onto the objective. That's going to be a flash to make sure there's anybody on these hedges here. A very common spot. Great flashes. A second flash to ensure Hobinator gets taken out by Traverse. Sorry, Traverse gets taken out by Hobinator. Bravo is going to try and refrag. Can't get the refrag. How to Breathe takes a hit in the process. Bravo is going to be pushing down now. He's trying to take as much picks as he can from that center building. That thick. Out in the back, waiting on Wayne 4. Slowly clearing out. He's going to need to start clearing windows. Hobinator holding up to the bedroom window. Takes out Bravo. Tripodix holding that bottom position. Making his rotation up. And now finally peeking the window. Unable to really get anything now this late in. Tripodix should have been rotating at least into a new position. If Tripodix takes this line to the back door and comes out through the car towards the objective, he can cap, but he does not know that. That's going to be shot fired on center building, but nowhere near Tripodix. Looks like they're just pre-firing. That thick's going to be right next to Poison Pastry. Let's see how this goes. Poison hears him. That's going to be the swing, back and forth. They're playing ring around the Ronzi now. That thick takes a hit in the process. Pre-fire, swing, pre-fire, swing. That's going to be that thick winning the swing war. That is going to be another -1 for RGM and a -1 for CA as well, meaning currently there are 2 of each. A grenade pops off the top, but it doesn't matter. That thick gets Hobinator in the process as he swings out into the window. Howdo has no line to the objective. Tripodix could have captured the objective ages ago at this point. All he has to do is come out this side door and run right to the objective, and that is a set of 2 points for RGM. Howdo last up, hoping the kill count is correct. Tripodix smokes out the objective. Howdo sees that the objective is smoked. He should be rotating in because he cannot see at least 3 separate ways to get the objective. His position is now a problem for Crusading Angels. If he does not push in, RGM could take 2 rounds. Tripodix going for the cap. Howdo does nothing about it. He's got all the time in the world. 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,005. Come on. All right. That is a smooth 5-second cap for RGM. All the time in the world given to him. Crusading Angels, that is what I mean by unfortunate misplays. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your scores. That is a heartbreaker for Crusading Angels. Their last player simply not doing anything about that. If you're the last still up, death before cap. You want to be in a position that you can see all the positions that people can take the objective from. If you are not, then you might as well be dead. That thick, picking up 3 kills in the process. Traverse and Bravo, the other 2 taking kills. Tripodix with the cap. Finally pushing in to take the objective. A couple of notable kills throughout that one, especially that one grenade on lane 1 was very tasty. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back into it. This same objective, roles are going to be reversed. RGM currently has a 2-round lead due to that capture. I am curious to see what that does for a morale standpoint for Crusading Angels. Let's see if they can adjust, do better, and make those plays. Overall, a very strong defense from Crusading Angels on most of their positions, aside from one, but that one position was the weak link. It allowed RGM to capture the objective and take 2 rounds. That needs to be adjusted, or mentality needs to be adjusted, so that when you're the last up, you push.
Oh, you want to go there?
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Okay, you
playground.
go there.
Yeah.
Alright.
Calling out their positions, last minute changes. Oh, still has a drone on his class. So long as he does not accidentally use it, it shouldn't come into play. All right, 3 and 2. Pre-fires out from RGM. Bravo towards USMC on lane 3. Poison pushing up into lane 3.5. Hobinator gets the pick on Bravo. He gets a little too comfortable, swings out a little too far, gets picked off. Howdo Breathe holding the red car, trying to get a pick on somebody, but now that that player's been picked off, he should be rotating in. Traverse takes out USMC with a C4, needs to go in and confirm the kill. That's a flash on the push. Comes in, confirms his kill, and then goes back. No, new position. That's going to be a swing in. Howdo Breathe going to punish him for it. Traverse overextending off of that kill. He should have taken his kill and backed off. Poison Pastry swinging out a little bit. That thick. Being held back from watching that angle. Hobinator Checking his tablet, possibly at the worst time. You never know. Onward timing. That thick holding that back window, watching towards lane 3. Goat gets the pick on how to breathe in the back. RGM, CA, 3 up each. Poison Pastry and Hobbinator in a great position on playground. That thick, the only thing stopping them from pushing out any further. Looks like we got Smokes on lane 2. Goat deep behind enemy lines. Crusading Angels, third player out. Solarman pushing across burning building now. That thick's not going to have an angle from back there on him, but he's starting to peek out towards Poison Pastry and Hobbinator now. Let's see how this develops. Hobbinator, here's Goat behind him. He knows the audio's there. He knows they're getting flanked. He's heard the switch. He's going to make some audio. He's going to switch to the other side of the barrel. That puts him exposed to the building. That thick, if he picks right now, he gets Hobbinator and Poison Pastry for free. Goat swinging out behind Hobbinator. That thick takes out Poison Pastry. Hobbinator sees Goat coming in. Doesn't react. Possibly flashed. RGM gets the flank and swings out and kills the entire team. I'm going to assume Hobbinator was hit by that flash. And that's exactly it. Hobbinator in a great position to punish that thick, but unfortunately, the moment that they got flanked, they lost the ability to watch those buildings, and that was the exact time that thick decided to peek out. Very good awareness. Unfortunate for Crusading Angels on that round. They had a very strong round, 3-3 in a good position, no less. All it took was that one flanker to break everything down. What an interesting turn of events. Next objective, we're going to move over. It is going to be... Why can't I see it on the screen? That's annoying. Ah, okay. It is going to be on the road. Here we are. All right, ladies and gentlemen, West Side Humvee objective. This is a fairly easy objective to capture in the sense that you can get behind the tires of the Humvee and capture from there without exposing too much of your lower body to getting picked off. Remember that cars are not hard cover. Your feet will still show underneath them. Use wheel wells and engines whenever possible. This is going to be an interesting push. Let's see which spawns the offense gets. I think it's going to be RGM on offense, Crusading Angels on defense. Yes, because they won the first round on offense. Okay, so we are going to get into it, and is going to be an interesting one because we don't know exactly which positions they're going to be playing and how they're going to be playing them. Crusading Angels. Let's see how they decide to play it. RGM getting the south spawn. 2 spawns on this objective, the south spawn and on the far side. Oh, and on the far side over here, they got the closer of the 2. That thick pushing out to burning building to check for the other spawn. 2 players pushing up to lane 1. 3 players pushing up to lane 1. Gonna take really hard and see some early lines onto that lane 1. Traverse gets picked off by Solarman. Solarman doesn't get the full kill. Goat needs to res immediately and rotate. That nade almost making something happen, but unfortunately just a little too far. Traverse pushing up. Bravo pushing up. Goat flashed currently. Traverse holding a nice angle. Smokes out Solarman. Bravo smokes out the objective. Smoke, smoke, smoke. That is a good, healthy amount of smoke to get lots of attention from defense Crusading Angels. Tripodix picks out Hobbinator in the back. Traverse in position on Solarman's old position. He's going to slow push his way, make no noise. This is where things get interesting. Bravo swinging in. Solarman and USMC know that they're there. Poison Pastry takes out Bravo as he swings in, and that's going to be a pick from How to Breathe in the back. Traverse goes down as well. Goat last one up on objective. Lots of smoke and lots of cover, but it's not enough to shake Crusading Angels. Crusading Angels holding true. They are not afraid of the smoke. They enjoy the smoke and they want the smoke. Can RGM bring the smoke? That thick USMC going to be trading in the back. Crusading Angels up 3-2. Solarman is going to pick off Real Goat. That's going to be another -1 on Crusading Angels belt. RGM 1 player left. way back in lane 4, and it appears Crusading Angels knows it. They've been called out. Tripedex picks off How to Breathe in the back. Only downs and doesn't get the confirm. Solar Man, Poison Pastry pushing out. They know where he is. They know what to do about him. They're just figuring out how they want to execute. Solar Man swings out into the road. No fear whatsoever. He could have been picked off right there. That's going to be the shot. Does not catch him. Solar Man now stuck behind Hesco. Let's see if he can out-peak. Tripedex has to try and out-peak. He's going to keep rotating in. Solar Man's now in a strong position, except he is burned if he does not move. Tripedex has to react to that position. Solar Man now controlling the head peak as best he can. Fighting against a ghost on the opposite Hesco's. Poison Pastry holding that back line to ensure nobody walks in on the objective while they're not looking. A very good decision. Although Solar Man might have called out the cross by now. Poison Pastry should be shifting. Solar Man going in for the res. Oh, almost a pick on Tripedex. Solar Man now finishing in for going for the res. It's the third time running into the open with almost getting picked off. Gets How to Breathe. How to swings straight out into line of fire and weapons down. Oh, that all came down to onward timing. He should have been picked off right then and there. How to pushes up. Tripedex holding that back line. Howdy's going to swing right into it. He's pre-firing in. That's going to be pre-fire through the wall. Oh, Crusading Angels gets the finish off. That's going to be what I'm talking about. Crusading Angels gets some momentum. That's more like it. A beautiful reaction to all that smoke on objective. You see all of that smoke and all that pressure, and Crusading Angels did not buckle. Very nicely done. All right, ladies and gentlemen. You note that the players got heavily smoked out on objective. Normally that's enough pressure to go for a cap. The smoke placement was just ever so slightly not quite there, and they had enough players holding those tight angles that RGM could not make anything out of it on that push. Too aggressive of a push and not enough util to get him there. Very nicely done. Solar Man pushing out that backside, almost getting picked off about 3 times on that push by Tripedex. Tripedex trying to pre-fire through the fence at the very end. Unfortunately, just wasn't able to make it happen. Very nicely done, though. There it is. I've been trying to get my highlights button to work all night. We're not going to talk about the fact that it hasn't been working. All right, roles will soon be reversed, and RGM will be playing on defense for this. Crusading Angels needs to make some magic happen on this push, and I think they're capable of it. Let's see what happens. Crusading Angels has to be able to push and take control of the objective. The easiest way to do it is on that back line and taking control of the north side. Once you have the north, attention forcibly gets split, and nobody can be hiding in the background on you. Which means the only players left are the ones holding directly onto the objective. It looks like Crusading Angels got the further east spawn. Let's see how they play this out. Goat's going to be pushing across. Goat pushing it on Solar Man. Solar Man's going to get picked off by Goat right there at Playground. The rest of the team pushing up through lane 4. Goat's going to be behind them in a second. Poison Pastry gets a pick. Hits on Tripedex. Tripedex can't punish them in order to stop them pushing across. They get a player across. That Thick's going to pick off Poison Pastry. That Thick in a great position right now for lane 4 stops. Goat in position for the flank right now. Here he comes. Things are about to get exciting for him. How to Breathe takes out That Thick. Goat going through playground now. Instead of pushing out to lane 4, he's going to try and get up top, see if he can get a pick off. Muscle memory, it seems, but they're all on lane 4. That is an easy two-piece right there on USMC and Hobinator, but Goat is holding that long angle. Howdo, Hobinator, USMC, all in great positions on lane 4, aside from Goat behind them. A wolf in sheep's clothing, or I should say a goat in sheep's clothing. Hobinator trying to get those picks on Bravo, Tripodix. Goat finally swinging in. USMC sees it. No, he doesn't see it. That's going to be the pick right there. Hobinator, there he goes. Howdo is about to get picked off as well by Goat. If he doesn't look behind him, there it is. That's going to be RGM. Goat swings in behind again and breaks down Crusading Angels defenses. Nobody watching that back line. You hate to see it, folks. What a downer these things happen. RGM wins 4-1 on Suburbia. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your scores. Top fraggers for the map. Real Goat taking out 7 and 2. Next up, That Thick with 6 and 2, and Tripodix 1 objective capture. For Crusading Angels, Howdo 5 and 3. Those are your main big scores. Looks like we're going to Downfall, ladies and gentlemen. We're playing another long-range map. Yes, everybody's excited about Downfall. Nobody talks about the caster. You try watching this much action on a map this big. Speaking of big maps, here is Downfall. Yes, those are all the buildings in the map, and yes, the map really is that big. This map, a very committed map for Marsoc. You have to push a direction and stick to it. There's no changing your mind because it takes a full 3 minutes to rotate around back and try again from the other side. 6 minutes per round and not a lot of time to make those alternate plays and alternate calls. Let's see what happens. Give me 1 second to make some changes here. Do some magic behind the screen. All right. First objective. Upper dumpster, upper dumpster. These two buildings are upper and lower dumpster, identified by the dumpster out back. This objective is relatively straightforward to defend. Just watch this corner here. You can only capture the objective from inside the building in this corner or behind the wall over here. Both of which put you at pretty high risk. Main goal for Volk is to get picks. In fact, main goal for any team on Downfall is to get picks. Your goal is to pick off players on the other team and hope you can pick off enough that you get the round win or break them down enough that they have to crash and you can pick them out in the open. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. All right, we're live. It appears Crusading Angels getting the farthest north spawn on this objective. There is a closer one to the right. See how they play this out. RGM getting ready to make their pushes into positions. Let's see where they go. Traverse pushing out into the upper valley over towards the twin buildings. Real Goat, Thick, Tripodix getting into position now. It appears Crusading Angels has a 3 split off into the west side while 2 push down the center. That's going to be Hobinator trying to get picks from 3-story. That is the North Hotel. That Thick, Bravo in position now. Bravo playing out really wide onto the church. Tripodix holding upper dumpster on objective. Goat makes it over to the center bungalow. He's going to be in a great position to try and get some picks. Let's get 9 from there. Goat's been exciting all game. Spider-Man picks off Goat right here. Called it. caster sense at full effect. Attempted picks from the back on Hobinator. Holding that long angle, Howdo gets picked off by Bravo. Hobinator is going to be in a position where he could potentially get picked off by Traverse, who has swung entirely into the backlines on Crusading Angels. Let's see if this plays out for him. He is out in the open, loud and proud with no fear. Hobinator in the open on 3-story. That's going to be engagement in the back. He's got to see him sometime. Oh, tell me he saw him. Ladies and gentlemen, we call this onward timing, where the timing of the game where two players cross happens to work out so beautifully that they Mr. Magoo pass each other and nothing happens. This is going in the textbook as onward timing. Hobinator surviving both volleys from Traverse. Traverse taking out 2 of Crusading Angels players, but not the one he initially pushed. I couldn't script this better if I tried. Hobinator is going to take out Traverse. Soloman's going to take out Tripodix. Just like that, RGM's down to 2 players. Crusading Angels up 3. That backside push ended up being for naught. Gains nothing for RGM. Crusading Angels now in a dominating position, up 3-2. And in very powerful dug-in position. Spider-Man taking control of Center Hotel. Center Hotel, one of the most powerful positions you can hold on this objective. Poison's pushing out in the open. Bravo flashing the seagulls. Callouts coming out from Bravo. Hobinator pushing his way across. He's been called out. Poison Pastry on Hotel. Spider-Man pushing back for some reason. Alright, that thick. Holding lower dumpster. Not direct eyes on objective, but he's going to have audio if they push across. These sight lines are dangerous. Poison just playing for picks here. Solar Man has pushed all the way back up the center and is now pushing the north side, assuming that the rest of his team has picked off all of north so he can make that rotation. 2 minutes and 30 on the clock. I don't disagree with that. He's going to call out Church to his team on this, trying to get the pick on Bravo. Bravo now exposed. He cannot move, and that is correct. He's locked in here. If he had some way to safely peek this this edge here, maybe that would give him the edge he needed. That thick on lower dumpster, getting shot at by Solar Man. Solar Man using the power of the sun. Hobinator pre-firing both sides of Church, making sure Bravo truly knows that he is stuck there. Poison slowly but surely pushing their way out. Knowing that Church is locked down and can't get the peek on them. That is a good play. Bravo taking shots at Solar Man. Shooting at the sun. Flew too close to the sun. He gets picked off by Solar Man on the north side. That thick, last one up. He has crashed to objective as one should. Making those good choices. Hobinator still at the back line. I assume by now Church has been called out of picked. Really playing for those picks on this map, as one should, but, you know, once you're up 3-1, you should be pushing in. Solar Man makes it to the wall, but that thick has spotted him rotating, and it does not matter. 70-30 rule in full effect. Solar Man had cover, and that thick did not. Comes down to that, plain and simple. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your scores. A beautiful showing. Unfortunate, Traverse manages to rotate all the way behind Crusading Angels, completely misses Hobinator by some miracle, and takes out 2 players, but those 2 players are not enough to make up for the fact that they have pushed out all the way behind and gotten picked off, netting an overall loss, as the rest of RGM is simply unable to defend the objective with 4 players. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a good one lined up now. Crusading Angels is awake and ready. RGM Not able to make it happen on that first round. An interesting push and a couple of interesting plays, not quite enough. Let's see how the rest of this plays out. Okay, here we go. Same spawns for RGM that CA did.
Tell me about it.
We immediately gotta go down.
Making those decisions early on where they need to react. Weapons flying towards hotel. Getting center hotel is going to be very important on this objective. Poison Pastry pushing out into Twin. Going to go for those snipes. Hobinator, USMC, going to be pushing over towards Church and Sniper Building, respectively. USMC peeking the hill very cautiously to make sure they don't get picked off in the process. A good decision. RGM pushing straight down the center line that thick. One straggler off to try and get picked from upper red truck. And Goat has pushed all the way up the north. They're going to run into Poison Pastry in a little bit. All right, boys. Here's what we've all come here to see. Window peeking simulator the game. Solar Man's going to pick off that thick. It all comes down to who can peek the windows better and who can clear the windows better. Traverse out in the open, pushing in through the center. Solar Man has full control over center hotel and splits off ahead of it. Instead, there we go. That's the inside. Hobinator picks off Traverse from Sniper Building in the back. Just like that. Bravo gets down from Solar Man on center hotel. Tripodix pushing up the side here. Goat's going to pick off Hobinator. Tripodix in position to try and take hotel, but he needs to watch the entirety of that wall. That's just not possible, especially with those gnarly head peaks that are coming out of Solar Man. Head peaks from the sun. Tripodix holding that line. Crossfire. Tripodix gets hit in the process. Tripodix nearly gets killed by 2 players on that peak. Solar Man's going to keep head peeking it. Tempting fate. Tripodix deciding he's a lefty for a moment. Changing his mind very quickly. He's going to rotate back down, watching that top wall. RGM knows they're down players. Real Goat's going to pick off Hobinator. Oh, sorry. How to breathe. He's going to pick up how to breathe. RGM 2.5 versus Crusading Angels 4. This one's going to be a slow one. Tripodix rotating away. He's going to get sighted by Sniper Building, it seems. Yep. As they're slowly clearing their angles, I want to see it from their perspective. USMC Hobinator. 2 people holding the same angles.
I see ya.
2 eyes see all.
Peek out again.
Hoping and praying
Going
for
with,
that peak.
Sandbags on helicopter bungalow.
That's the call out. Poison's going to pick off Tripodix on the north side, or northeast side, and that is going to be the entirety of the northeast side. Not quite finished, as we have another player back there.
Twins.
That's the call out from Poison Pastry that they're at Twins. Goat pushing up to Poison Pastry now. Probably heard the call out. Quite literally heard the other team tell them where they are. First floor, second floor, first floor. Goat playing cautiously and carefully. Moving like a contortionist crab into the building. Realizing this is not the way they want to approach. and contortioning out. RGM's last player. Last line of defense. Go, little crab, go. Cautiously makes his way up. I should probably be spectating this in first person because it looks less goofy, but this is funnier to me, so I'm doing it. Goat, gonna clear all the rooms on Twin. A good play when there's time on the clock, but with no time left, it's gonna take him a long time to get to this door and clear the actual player. Boy, oh boy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean to be a pessimist, but I think this round goes to Crusading Angels. Gonna realize that there's nobody in here. 53 seconds on the clock. This is going to be a long one. Goat rotating down. Going back to check the same first floor they were just on. There's nothing back here. It's just crates. The tallyman hasn't come to grab the bananas yet.
Enemy on me, twins. Enemy on me, twins.
Indeed, that's the call out. Heard a footstep. 14 seconds on the clock, not gonna matter much. All right. Here comes the swing, at least get a kill out of it. And swing, bada bada, and nothing. Okay, there it is. Poison's gonna take him out in the end. Crusading Angels takes the round. Called it. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your scores. We have a dropout for RGM. Looks like we're getting a new player in. All right, looks like we had a player lag out. We're gonna have another player coming in soon. A unfortunate disconnect. The cautious, slow-walking crab manages to break the lobby. Let's get a closer angle. Did I catch any footage of Derp Crab? I want to see Derp Crab. Oh, looks like we're going to play a 4 versus 5. They might just be running it anyway. No, okay. They just let the timer run. Things were about to get real interesting real fast there for a sec. We came down to the final seconds of the round, and it just ended up being... Oh, we are playing a 4v5. Oh boy, here we go.
60, 16, 51.
All right. Crusading Angels on the push. RGM. There we go. We've got our 5th. Fantastic. We're not playing 4v5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where the heck? No, it is a 4v5. Their 5th came in just a moment too late. All right, now we're talking. Let's see how this goes. 4 versus 5 RGM uphill battle, but they are on the defense, and this is a defense-heavy map. Let's see if they can take care not to overpeak and get picked off. How do in position up on the north side. gonna get some picks and more importantly divide the attention of RGM. I like that play. At the very least, having a player up here can split their attention and not let them know which spawn your team has gotten. Howdo's going to be in position to start getting picks soon. Nobody's going to be giving him any sort of leeway or target to hit, except maybe Goat. Goat watching upper and lower red. All right. We have eyes on Twin. Solar Man making the push across. Hobnator holding towards Center Hotel. Here we go. Solar Man up to Center Hotel now. He's going to be caution watching the angles. That thick, holding from the Blackhawk building. That sightline has now been smoked out. Solar Man can make that cross safely. That thick can't react in time. That's what util is for, and he's called out now. That thick now burned. Solar Man's going to peek out on him, try and draw his attention. Pre-fire in. See if he can't get a pick. Using the power of the sun, he commands. Tripodix holding that back line, trying to keep an eye towards it. Solar Man's going to pick off on Tripodix. Bravo. Now in a much rougher position. Let's see if RGM can keep it together. We got a 4-man push on the east side with one pushing up on the north. That's going to be shots fired from Real Goat. Real Goat going to get picked off by Hobnator. Hobnator really wants to make sure he is dead. That thick holding Blackhawk, but he's been burned. They know where his position is. Hobnator just putting tons of hate down range. USMC holding that back line. Bravo holding that Center Hotel. Solar Man's pushing up on him now. He's got to hear it. That thick takes out Poison Pastry on the cross. Solar Man's going to smoke out that thick. Perfect placement of utility. Making sure that thick has no proper angles. USMC, Bravo is going to down Solar Man and push in on him. Beautiful. That's going to be a lot of the push for Crusading Angels pushed back now, as Crusading Angels final players are now pushing from much farther on the east side. They could not keep up with Solar Man. And Howdo Breathe is now pushing up the north side. Howdo is going to split their attention nice and wide, which is going to be fantastic for Crusading Angels. RGM has no angle on Howdo. Bravo crossed up with that thick, both of them watching each other's backs, making sure nobody can make it to that finish line, to the objective. Howdo pushing his way up. That thick trying to get picks onto USMC. USMC manages to get hit in the crossfire. Howdo trying to get those angles, clear those windows before he rotates up, as one should and does. Bravo, that thick holding each other's back. Howdo pushing up now. That's going to be loud audio. That thick can call it out. Pre-fire coming out from Hobnator onto that thick. Send that hate down range. That thick stuck in a position here now, waiting for Howdo to push up on him. He hears footsteps. He knows he can react. Bravo's got his back though. Bravo's going to hold that peak. Howdo's getting ready to swing it. Bravo picks off Howdo. Here we go. USMC util up onto the north side. A perfect nade if he was trying to clear the roof, but unfortunately Bravo not playing the roof that thick, holding a beautiful angle towards USMC and Hobnator. Hobnator and USMC both know that there's a player on Blackhawk. They need to react. Flash from Bravo appears to get USMC. No. That's going to be a beautiful smoke, aside from the fact that it just barely overshoots. USMC Flash has to wait for a couple seconds. Every second matters when there's a minute left on the clock. Objective is right there, but that thick rotates in and now crashes. He has eyes on objective. They cannot get to the objective without that thick knowing now, which means they have to take him out in order to have a chance. That thick, a beautiful nade. Oh my goodness. If USMC was further up that wall, that would have been the kill. That thick trying to peek over. Pre-fire coming from Hobnator. Bravo tries to take out USMC. Cannot. USMC stuck behind cover. That thick's going to swing out on him and get the pick. Hobnator by himself at church. Bravo and that thick. 35 seconds on the clock. They're about to hear their watches go off at a 30-second warning. 30-second warning. 30 seconds on the clock. That's exactly right. Play it safe when you got 30 seconds. And just when he says that, stands up with no cover. Nearly gets picked off in the process. Bravo picks off Hovenator, and RGM takes the round on a 4v5. Are you not entertained? My goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your scores after that 4v5 upset round. Like I said, defending on this map is much easier. Alright, we should have a fifth coming any moment now so that they're not stuck playing 4 versus 5 for every round. I could have sworn we had them. No, we are still waiting on that fifth. If the timer runs out... Oh boy, oh boy. Alright, looks like we're playing another 4 versus 5. Here we go. Crusading Angels on the defense. Let's see what their lines consist of, and can they play them as efficiently as RGM did. RGM playing a 4 versus 5.
No.
Alright. Oh, that's right. Come on.
A bit of an imposter situation going on here.
Over there.
That thick, trying to get them together. Stopping to throw your weapon, but I'll tell you what, that is one heck of a throw.
How the hell did you throw that far?
I'm pretty mid, honestly.
That's quite a throw. If you can stop and still pick up your weapon to get a throw off. Oh, messing around during a scrim. The goal is practice. Nope. And apparently self-injury.
I'll take a quick snap it.
Having a little fun on this push. They know they're playing at a disadvantage, so they figure they might as well enjoy it.
On up like Top Valley. They always have someone go there.
Just a quick check to see if our fifth came in. No. Ooh. Bravo peeking out, trying to bait some shots out. Tripodix just standing in the open. Solarman picks off Bravo, punishes for being out in the open. Tripodix nearly goes down.
Don't even worry about resing me. I got you.
Must be immune to bullets to be that fearless. Bravo's about to be rezzed, comes down back down the hill. Alright, RGM, 3 players at the hill and no way to cross. Let's see if they can make miracles happen off of this. What I'm curious about is the real goat rotating around that backside. Real goat, really impressive as a flanker so far. Managed to get behind Crusading Angels at least once every map so far. Heads up to window to see if they can start clearing out for picks. 4 minutes on the clock. Alright, RGM manages to clear. Nope, does not manage to clear. They've made no ground in the last 45 seconds.
Alright. They have one watching Valley, so I'm gonna rotate.
Okay, I think I'm good. I think I fixed it.
Alright, a late decision to rotate. As I've said before, it takes a full 3 minutes to clear that backside of the map to be able to rotate across to their teammate. And all they're going to do is make it so that all of their offense is coming from one section, as they've already got a player up there that can pull attention and aggro away from the rest of the team. The real goal manages to make it up further and further. clearing as he goes. Poison gets the pick on real goat. Did not expect to see a player out that window and did not react. And that is what I'm talking about, ABCs. For those of you that don't know what ABCs means, you should always be confirming.
Alright, I'm gonna just keep an eye on this window.
Heck yes. Elmo would be proud of you and your ABCs. As would Cookie Monster and Big Bird. It's a Sesame Street joke. Don't look into it. Solar Man holding towards church. There is a lot of hate towards this ridge line, and RGM is about to run face first into it. Howdo is gonna get that thick. 2 players left for RGM. Smoke out on lower dumpster. Bravo. Guardian Angel working overtime. Solomon at church. Shifting between peeking and not peeking. Bravo's gonna pre-fire up towards Brothel. Has no idea where Solomon's picking him from. And I expect this should be the round over. Boom. Called it. Tripodix swings out onto his teammate's body, and everyone knows you don't step on your teammate's body because you'll get killed by the same person that killed them. That is going to be the round for Crusading Angels RGM. 1 versus 3. Crusading Angels up 3-1 right now. Shadow on onward. Welcome. All right. It's looking like RGM's fate is all but sealed here. Hoping for a 5th player. Looks like we're playing 4v5 for the last couple rounds. As I say that, crazier things have happened. RGM currently on defense. Defense very, very favorable on this map. Let's see how they decide to play it. Here we go. The potentially final objective is going to be on lower dumpster. 4 players up. No eyes towards quick spawn. If you spawn over here and look across, you can see players standing up at the start of the round, so it's favorable to lay down at start of round. RGM pushing out 4-3-2, pushing out towards center. Quick spawn confirmed. Howdo, Solar Man. Teamwork kills Bravo in the back. Bravo gets shot from every direction. Goat pushes up to Red Truck. He's about to get shot in the side from Howdo Breathe. Goat taking shots in return. Looks like Crusading Angel is just going to post up in the windows and pick off RGM one by one as they overpeak. Goat trying his best to make the most out of the position he's in. Howdo holding that left side, that thick. Needs to have an angle. He's watching the right side cross. Goat swings out for some crazy reason onto Howdo. Howdo gets the kill. RGM, 2 players up to 5. I don't know, folks. It's not looking good. Then again, this is onward. 1 player can take out 5 in the blink of an eye. Here we go. That thick. Thinking about the situation. Howdo's gonna make the cross. That thick has no way of knowing. Takes shots at that thick. That thick takes a hit. Howdo almost picking his head off here. Flashes out. Needs to cross. Howdo's gonna make the full cross uncontested. That thick can't peek it. If he does, there's about 5 eyes that'll be trained on him. Last player for RGM is Tripodix on the northern side of dumpster. That thick allows Solar Man and Howdo Breathe to cross with no way to contest. That's going to be smokes on objective. Are we going to end with a cap? Nobody's on the objective. Howdo pushes in. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. All right. And that is going to be all she wrote. RGM too far away from objective. Unable to contest with that many players up. Crusading Angels wins 5-1 on downfall. Ladies and gentlemen, here are your scores. Not too bad for a 4v5. That being said, Crusading Angels beautifully done on downfall. Lots of great crossplay and decision making, and more importantly, splitting the attention of the opposing team. Once you can split the attention of the defenders, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate everybody involved. Thanks for both of the teams for playing it out and letting me cast for them. We hope you have a fantastic night, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.